Welcome back, everybody, to Myhackathon 2020. And straight into it, we're going to cross over to Rizal Alwani bin Muhammad Nordin, whose presentation is all about Insan Community Care. How are you, Rizal?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, ready to go?
Yes.
Our judges are always ready, ever ready. So your time begins now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm here to present to you Insan Community Care, a community well-being management as a service platform. So let's dive into problem statement number 1. After our analysis, the biggest problem is limitation of resources. The manpower to recipient ratio of 1 to 8,000 poses a problem where there's challenges in citing and validating documents, as well as engagement and monitoring process of the beneficiaries. So our solution is to increase the capacity by reducing manpower to recipient ratio. What we will do with our solution is to reduce 1 to 8,000 manpower to recipient to 1 to 200 ratio of manpower to recipient. How we're going to do it is by zoning out a 5-kilometer radius, and which is postcode segregated, and we will identify a neighborhood manager which will be able to handle up to 200 recipients. The neighborhood manager will utilize our system to register and monitor the beneficiaries and throughout the year, and will give monthly reporting. Second is we solve document citing and validation issues. What we will do is within that 5-kilometer zone, we will actually sign up retailers to become our fulfillment centers. And that will bring down again the ratio from 1 to 8,000 to 1 center to 64 recipient. So let's take a look at the fulfillment centers. What we will do is we will empower the fulfillment centers with the verification system that will be able to verify the beneficiaries with a thumbprint mechanism. You will also be able to utilize the fulfillment centers to disburse goods, and basically they can exchange their coupons with the sundry goods, buy petrol, or even visit the clinic. Or if they want to dispense cash, we can do it via e-wallet. So this is the MVP, our dashboard. You can actually monitor the neighborhood, and you can look at the supply and demand, what programs are there, who are the beneficiaries, where the beneficiaries are, what do they require. So this is to avoid the wastage that's happening. If you can look at Dataran Merdeka, there's overfeeding that leads to wastage. So this happens a lot in terms of when we do charity programs. If you drill down the system further, you can have neighborhood cases, and you can actually look at the prospects, beneficiaries, and the graduates, and you can even monitor cases that are relapsed. That means and help them further. So drilling down into individual profiles, the community manager will provide monthly reporting and will actually detail out exact expenses items that have been disbursed to them. So later on, we will build 4 different dashboards for the stakeholders, the donors, and fulfillment partners. So this is a cloud system for all to utilize. In terms of infrastructure, it will be based on cloud. So we will actually do a zone instance where we will have low deployment complexity. And for us to populate throughout the nation, we will just have to identify the Insan Community Manager at Damansara Damai, Shah Alam Gombak, and so on and so forth throughout the nation. So the key benefits is we have real-time stakeholder dashboard reporting, monitor impact progress of beneficiaries, monitor donation disbursement and impact, avoid duplication of resources, and meet ongoing demand of community on the ground. So the impact, you will have more donor engagement due to transparency, you identify and solve community gaps, you serve the unserved community, which is basically those who lost the job now and cannot qualify for welfare. And so in between, we are there to serve them. So under the Insan Community Care Program, we are responsible for the welfare of the very least, the neighbors within a kilometer of our home. Thank you.
Ben, you're muted.
Okay, my turn to be muted. Okay, I know there's a mute problem right there. So, well, I was just saying, well done, Rizal. You did a good job with 4 minutes presentation. So I'd like to invite Arif to ask the first question to Rizal.
Hello, Rizal. Very good presentation at the flow. I have one question. What is exactly your go-to deployment strategy for the first phase of MVP?
Okay, basically, we will have to get the dashboard reporting for the Insan Community Manager, and we will have to establish the supply and demand MVP so that we will be able to execute the programs on the ground. So with that, they will be able to monitor the donation and monitor the beneficiaries, as well as the community manager will be able to go on the ground and monitor and input data into it.
All right. Uh, I, I I think this is very good idea and great idea. Just one thing, because you mentioned that you're gonna implement the thumbprint, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is it? I think best if you because previous presenter was like my ID. I am very stunned with the idea. It's very good idea, and I think instead of the uh, what do you think for the other solution that could be more easier instead of the thumbprint could be more like just a QR code? Do you think that is possible?
Yes, of course it's possible because it's this what we're doing with the MVP is to actually get on the ground as fast as we could. Then of course we will the second or third version we can look into QR codes or other form of. So this is based. The strength of the system is actually it's community driven, so that it will actually relieve the government punya resources lah.
How long the deployment process is going to took? I mean the involvement involve the development and the deployment.
Okay, we will
Very
complete this.
rough.
We will complete this within 3 months, the most maximum lah. Tapi kalau the MVP should be out there by a month or two lah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Arif.
Rizal.
Okay.
Thanks.
And we have a little bit of time for a question from Darren. I'd like to invite Darren for a question.
Hi.
Judge Darren?
I have one question. I saw one article a few years ago saying that Malaysia have the most bloated civil service in Malaysia, in the world. So how is it? Your first problem statement was that that we don't have enough resources. How does that tally?
Okay, that problem statement of 1 to 8,000 is probably the agency that craft out this problem statement, but the solution to this is mainly the consolidation or the bringing in together the private sector NGOs, the social activists on the ground, and the government together. So if you consolidate the whole efforts, then we will have an optimum success rate lah. So that's the whole idea. So it's not dependent on the government agency saja. So the whole idea when I say it's Islamic is because everyone is in charge. So if I suddenly become rich tomorrow, alhamdulillah, I can enter into the system and then actually become a donor straight away. So because the tendency of people donating will be outside of their constituent because they don't know what's happening in the neighborhood. Okay.
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 Thank you very much, Darren, for the question. Thank you very much, Rizal, for the presentation. Inshallah, you will get Kaya Raya one day, bro. Okay, so Rizal, you can just relax right now. Like I keep saying that to all the